Darren Aronofsky's The Whale is a story about redemption, abandonment, seeking connection, and sexuality. Charlie, played wonderfully by Brendan Fraser, is a 600-pound teacher who lives alone. Charlie requires near constant supervision and care, which he gets from his only friend, Liz. Charlie is also visited by a Christian missionary named Thomas, who returns regularly in hopes of saving him, and then later, his estranged daughter, Ellie. Charlie offers to give her money and do her schoolwork in return for her visiting him. Charlie has a deep fascination for one particular critical essay on the book Moby Dick. He reads it repeatedly and even has Thomas read it to him when he thinks he's dying. And that brings me to one of the most interesting aspects of the film, Charlie's obsession with honesty. He admires the Moby Dick essay because of how raw with emotion and unique its perspective is. He continuously insists for his students to write something that's truthful. This need for expression of truth grows stronger and stronger throughout the film, but for someone who lies to his students about his webcam being broken and hides away from his identity, Charlie's requests for truth seem hypocritical. So where does this come from? Even before Charlie became dangerously obese, his life was full of shame and difficulty. Many years ago, Charlie fell in love with a young man named Alan. Alan was the son of the New Life Church pastor, and of course, this pastor didn't approve of his son's sexuality. Alan ended up committing suicide due to the lack of acceptance he experienced and his religious guilt. Charlie was heartbroken by the loss of his loved one. This sadness led Charlie to start binge eating and gain all of the weight. Nearly every second of the film takes place within Charlie's home. The audience is trapped alongside Charlie in every moment of struggle, and that there's no way to deny how difficult Charlie's mental and physical condition is. Charlie is also unable to deny it, and yet he has trouble facing every telling of the harsh truth of his health. When he looks up his blood pressure and sees the worrisome results, it doesn't take long before Charlie sinks into a self-destructive coping mechanism of overeating. Charlie has never been able to live his life proudly, loudly, and unashamed. This is where I think his desire for truthful expression came from. He's always felt burdened by the truths of his own life, so he searches for authentic expression. He wants to live in a world where people can be themselves completely without judgment, as judgment has always cursed him. Charlie may struggle with being his true self, but Ellie is the exact opposite. Where Charlie is shy, regretful, and insecure, Ellie is bold, daring, and unashamed. Though she acts and speaks cruelly for the vast majority of the film, it's rooted in pain.
You can't throw me away like I'm a piece of garbage and then suddenly just want to be my dad 8 years later.
The harm she brings isn't necessarily excusable, but it's a truthful expression of the hurt she's endured by her father abandoning her. Ellie says everything on her mind, with no regret of how she'll be perceived because of it. And though her mannerisms have become cold and offensive, they once were expressed through eloquent, beautiful sensitivity. Charlie glorifies Ellie in his mind.
I hate everyone.
Perhaps it's because of his fatherly bias or his desperate need to believe that he's done something good in his life. But Charlie has been clinging on to the Moby Dick essay Ellie wrote in 8th grade, using it as proof to himself that she's kind, pensive, and sensitive. Ellie's essay makes a bold assumption about the author's intentions, but she does so with the utmost vulnerability.
I think this is sad because this whale doesn't have any emotions and doesn't know how bad Ahab wants to kill him.
One of the most profound lines of her essay is,
And I felt saddest of all when I read the boring chapters that were only descriptions of whales. Because I knew that the author was just trying to save us from his own sad story. Just for a little while.
This line completely reflects Charlie's own existence, which is perhaps why he resonates with it so deeply. Charlie's mundane days, the hardships of his life, and especially his need for closeness to his daughter are just momentary distractions from his imminent death, which has been approaching for a while. Charlie tries to save himself from his sad story's ending by proving to himself that he's done something right with his daughter.
I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
And to him, Ellie's years-old essay about her own authentic perspective and feelings makes her an extension of him that he can finally feel seen and truthful through. Charlie, like I think all of us deep down, yearns to live a life where vulnerability isn't seen as weakness, but rather as just truth. And that brings me to some of the lines Charlie himself spoke to his class.
Paragraph organization. But if all of that isn't built on your own original ideas and truthful analysis, it doesn't mean anything. Think about that as you write and revise. think about the truth of your argument.
Remove the magnifying glass. What does this mean? It's that life, in all of its highs and all of its lows, doesn't mean anything if you're not true to yourself, your identity, your opinions, and your feelings.